You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ka-Pow. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. We just did something. I'm exhausted.
We needed more time for that.
I thought it was perfect. The perfect amount of time.
What do you mean more time?
I need more time to I just need to go take a lap around the block and
Yeah. I do need to decompress. It's just like I just walked off stage and now I sat down here and
for thespians like us.
Yeah.
Our process demand.
Yeah, if any of you will recall, we had one time we did something called Ka-Pow Theater.
You want me to play the bumper?
Yeah, play the bumper.
The plebeians beneath you may enjoy the rabble. Give them their bread and circuses. For I shall be at
Ka-Pow Theater. Yes, where we did a scene from Double Indemnity, me and Coach Mayer. And it was fun. And we've been joking the last few weeks about bringing this back. But I want somebody else to bring something. I want to be surprised with a script like I brought. So, Jordan came hot tonight. So
if you are a patron, you already had access to this because it's been out a little bit in advance for thank you patrons. We did a scene from Running the Asylum, the web series that I co-created, let's say 7 years ago.
Yeah. And
have 6 episodes that are all up on YouTube. It's nothing great, so don't get your hopes way high, but I'm proud of it. I think for the limitations we had, I'm proud of what we accomplished. But we had a bunch more scripts written that are just sitting in a drawer, and I thought, I have a microphone.
Yeah.
I have an audience, I think. So let's let them have it.
So he handed us a script, and cold, we did it. And put it out, so if you're a patron, you got that, a little early
or a lot early.
Yeah, or a lot early, and we eventually drop it for everybody else. So that was fun. We'll probably do more in the future, assuming anyone liked it. We like doing it, so I'm gonna tell you we're gonna do it.
I know there's at least 2 people who look forward to it. I know one of them was our pal Jesse Starcher, because we did it so long ago. His oldest son was very young, and he loved this. He loved Logan, my co-star at the thing, who was the sillier guy. Yeah, everybody loves Logan.
Yeah,
but he loved this guy and thought he was hilarious. And then he saw him at the Comic-Con one year, and Jesse has told the story. He thought he met a celebrity because he's like, it's the guy from YouTube is here.
Yeah. He was on TV.
That's he went viral. So we hope you enjoyed that. We're trying to do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
So what are we doing tonight?
Well, we've also done some fun stuff for those aforementioned patrons.
Oh, yeah.
We put some stuff up there if you haven't been around in a while. I don't remember if we ever said we were going to do this, but I know, on air at least.
Yeah.
But we started a glossary. It's something I've thought about for a long time because we've been at this a while, and we have a lot of inside jokes, and we make a lot of references that might seem kind of random if you're new or haven't been listening
to all 170
something episodes.
Yeah.
So there's only 19 or 20 so entries so far, but I'm going to keep adding to it as I think of it, and as we keep going.
It's worth your $1.
Okay.
It's worth
so it's worth like Perlmutter. It's a noun of course, but it's also a verb. And, you learn that on there, and there's a whole section about Riverdale. I just added Blowpaz.
Oh.
I added Sticky Maple. So there's a whole list of things that we make reference to, and you'll get the definition, the origin of it, and its use in a sentence.
Awesome.
We also threw up some audio. I told a funny story about
An anecdote.
about being put to work at a gas station late one night.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you'll get that only if you're a patron.
And that's just in the last few days we've done that. So yeah, so we've been trying to really, if you've signed up to be a patron with Podbean, in order to do that, all you got to do is go to our website, udamwithkpp.com, or you can use your phone and sign up through Podbean. Hit that patron button there.
Which the aforementioned Jesse Starcher just signed up since last we recorded. So special
So we
thank
can
you.
stop calling him Ka-Pows. He was starting to sweating it. Thought we were taking away the name of our people. Nope, they're Jesse's.
He stays there. Stays at the top.
Yeah, so you can get, just one way to get some extra fun stuff. It's been fun for us because it doesn't have to be an hour-long show or, Lord forbid, an hour and a half or whatever. We can just throw up, 10, 15 minutes at a time and just some fun stuff and, throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So, if you're listening or watching, our audio is on YouTube. We've been talking about this for a while. We've got a couple comments.
Yes, somebody really liked.
Yeah, Terry.
No, the other guy.
Oh yeah. We just 4 days ago we got a comment from George Wood.
Which,
now,
if anyone's going to displace Jesse as our number one fan,
Right, it's George Wood.
This guy really, if you've never seen our videos on YouTube are just like this. There's no video.
No.
It's just the sound. But George liked it.
Yeah. George is. He commented, "What's up? Sweet vid. You should take a look at .com.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, bleep that out. We don't want to actually give him anything.
Ever since I started using it on my main channel, my videos are ranking much better. So thanks, George Wood.
Yeah.
and I've lost 25 pounds and got a girlfriend.
Right. That's right. So you can lose weight too listening to Ka-Pow.
Right. Send $50 to the disposed
Prince
from
of George.
Saudi Arabia.
It's a great bid.
Yeah. No, we had some real comments. Just a couple from Terry Irwin here lately.
Irvin.
What did I say?
Irwin
the second. Terry W. Irvin the second. He commented, the 90210 show at a restaurant, it was playing with the sound down, so all one could see is the acting, and even that looked pretty lame.
He's right.
I think that's a direct assault at you, Cliff. And your taste into
it was pretty bad. Yeah, I agree with everything he said there.
Yeah, and then a couple days ago he said, I think this was one of our latest episodes, while Chelsea Handler can be pretty funny, I'd be hesitant to take stock in any sort of trend or content presented, just like reality TV can be manipulated by the selection of scenes / content. Wow.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I've not seen that special still. All right.
So those are our, some of the parts of the YouTube comments.
And people are still commenting about songs you left out of the theme song bracket. So that will never end.
Like I said, we tons of unsatisfied customers. I thought if I put
people are demanding further exploration.
I told you guys. I said we got to open this up. We got to have as many as we can fit in here because people will not like that I left something out. And guess what? I left some stuff out, but
most of them from my family.
Our harshest critics are related to you. But
we got called on the carpet for skewing a little too male, not having Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. Well, and I want to defend myself here. I did consider Gilmore Girls, but the theme song was on no list of best theme songs because I tried to look at what were popular ones. And
don't dig yourself any deeper.
No, I'm just serious. I did consider it, and I was like, and I listened to it, And still, it didn't make the list, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I feel like in like 4 years,
I should have put it on there.
Nasty comments about
it's a
what
very
we didn't
popular
put in.
show. I probably should have had it on there, but I had a million songs. They wouldn't let me open it up to 280. We should have doubled the amount of shows.
By God, we got the eight is enough in there though.
Yes.
All right.
Gilmore Girls was not in that era, or it would have had that slot.
All right, let's move on to some TV.
Oh, Dolores.
What the hell is a sticky maple?
Run, Barry, run! That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Go get him, Supergirl.
Well, what this guy look like, anyways?
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Uh-huh. In what way?
Oh, just in a general kind of way.
Exterminate!
Little pig, let me in.
These violent delights have violent ends.
That's what she said.
Groovy.
Want anything special?
A whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, all right.
I watched the Very Brady Renovation.
I watched them on Colbert.
Oh,
they had all 6 kids, and apparently Stephen Colbert was a huge fan. And he was like, I've never seen Stephen Colbert fangirl as much as he did, like meeting the Bradys. He was like, he didn't know what to say. It was amazing.
I don't know. Maybe I've never heard, or maybe there just isn't. There's no like dirt on them. There's nobody that I think, oh well, that person did some terrible thing. It's like, as far as I know, they've all got nobody's canceled.
Yeah.
But like the mom and dad and housekeeper from the show are all deceased.
And Tiger.
And Tiger, yes, aforementioned Tiger.
And Sam the Butcher.
Sam the Butcher. I assume. Good callback. Anyway, I was like, if you don't know, the house, like most shows, they whenever you show the house from the outside, sitcom, that's not the actual house that they film the show in. They always do it on a soundstage or whatever. So the house that was always used, you can picture it right off. That's, wherever that house is setting, it's finally went up for sale. Like the family that lived in that house a couple years ago was like, we're going to sell this house. And we don't know if anybody'd be interested, but they put it up for sale and like, we're flooded with phone calls. Like they said, we're getting like 500 calls a day. People wanted to live in the Brady house.
Who doesn't want to buy the Brady house?
Well, that house is like nothing inside. Inside it is absolutely nothing like the soundstage. And like Lance Bass, I remember this a couple years ago. Lance Bass he was in Sync, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He wanted to buy it. He offered, I think, $1.5 million for it. And anyway, HGTV had a meeting and they were like, we are not going to pass this up, right? And I think they doubled his bid and bought it. And like all their main hosts, like 8 of their main hosts from, the twin guys, Property Brothers, is that what they are?
I have no idea.
I don't know. The only thing I've ever watched is like House Hunters.
We're still not skewing female guys.
I'm trying. But anyway, all the
He
main...
watched the show.
Move
okay?
that
You
bus!
don't know, like Laura Spencer. Anyway, doesn't matter. All the main hosts, anyone that's ever seen an HGTV show knows the people I'm talking about. They all wanted to be a part of it, and they all, worked together and renovated this house. They had to, the house on the show was 2 stories, and this house is like a split level something. It just was almost impossible. They ended up adding on this huge addition in the back, but they did it. And the main thing is they wanted to keep the street view, like you wouldn't be able to see the addition and things.
They paint that extra addition go away green like they do at Disney World, so it's supposed to blend in with the sky and the trees.
No, you can't even see it. You can't. It doesn't. It was like, I think there's been like 5 episodes so far, and I think they're
Oh, it's like a series. It's not even like one show. Oh,
yeah. It was 4 hours worth of them doing the whole project, and then the 5th episode was just like some behind the scenes stuff, so it's pretty much done. But it was amazing. It was amazing to watch how they did it, and just making they had a website where fans could, if they had any items that were, they needed to, because they replicated everything sitting on the dressers, the stuffed animals. They had special wallpaper printed. They, redid everything from the house. It was really cool, and all 6 kids were there and involved and helping, and they had stuff and told great stories and things. It was pretty awesome. If you're a fan of the show, it was a very fun experience, and those people were so like in awe of the whole project while they're doing it. They're like, I can't believe that I'm standing in in this what feels like that same room again, only there's 4 walls this time.
Yeah, get back to me when they renovate the house in Bel Air.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't know hardly any of those rooms. Anyway, it was pretty sweet.
Well, we're still in that fall time when a bunch of new shows are starting.
Yeah.
So I checked out Nancy Drew on the CW.
Like 5 minutes and I was done.
This was the follow-up to Riverdale, Wednesdays at 9, and it is very Riverdale. They're trying very hard
to replicate,
to make this Riverdale 2. Riverdale also. Riverdale number 2, whatever you want to say. Down to her dad is Scott Wolf. They cast a 90s a 90s heartthrob
Did you
as
guys
a
watch
parent.
Party of 5?
Oh yeah.
No.
I watched it.
No, you didn't? Exposed.
It was probably on like right after or maybe right before 90210.
Man, Nev Campbell and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
Waiting for Nancy Drew, I guess. The main actress, her name's Kennedy McMahon. I looked her up. She has had she appeared in an episode of Law and Order SVU, and so she's been in like 3.
Who hasn't?
She's been in like 3 episodes of television in her life, and now she's headlining this. She was pretty good. She's very pretty. She's very attractive.
Pretty and attractive.
She's very wholesome in that Nancy Drew sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Betty Cooper type.
But also sort of they've Riverdaled it up. They're all like, they've all got dark sides. They're all like,
that sounds right.
Sexy teens and stuff. So it even when the opening credits, like the camera panned up and it showed all the trees set in Horseshoe Bay. And like the logo came in, Nancy Drew. The title looked like Riverdale.
Yeah, it did.
But
it did. It really did. The tree line and everything. I immediately thought about Riverdale, and then they were like Horseshoe Bay, and I was like, "What the hell is Horseshoe Bay?"
So it has her narrating it just like Jughead. It's like in a very noir sort of way of everyone in Horseshoe Bay has secrets. Sometimes they come to light, like that sort of thing. But I'm sure if you grew up reading the books, there were a lot of nods to that. She works on a diner, and her dress at the diner is real bright blue. So for most of the episode, she's wearing like many of the covers of the novels had her in a blue dress. Shows her with a flashlight, creeping up some stairs. So sort of the famous Nancy Drew look to it. There's a ghost, so there may or may not be a ghost. There might be hauntings. There's a secret necklace that was in a compartment in a drawer. There's an old trunk with secrets in it. So it's like they're really playing up the... I'd never read any of the books, but I know that's the sort of...
See, now I was going to ask you that. I was like, Jordan was probably so woke back then he was reading Nancy Drew. It's like when I was a kid, it's like there was... The boys read Hardy Boys, and the girls read Nancy Drew, and never the twain shall meet.
I was more of an Encyclopedia Brown kid.
Oh, he was my number 2 hero on our hero list. Encyclopedia Brown's the best. But when I was desperate somewhere, and all there was, I was never desperate enough to read Nancy Drew, but I would read freaking Hardy Boys. And I don't know why. It's just like, I don't think they would hand you a Nancy Drew if you were a boy.
Yeah, things were a little more
it was just,
regimented back then. But yeah, I can imagine if you grew up reading these the same way we are familiar with the Archie characters, like, hey, it's Jughead, and like his ticks and the way he eats hamburgers, stuff. Like, I'm sure if you're a Nancy Drew fan, you see that.
I'm sure they're paying homage to it.
And the chemistry had a pretty decent. The cast had a pretty decent chemistry. All the people were fine. It's just not for me. And it was, I said, it's just trying to do that Riverdale formula. So I don't think I'll stick around.
Yeah.
But I think there's something there to like that might end up. Yeah, there's a big mystery. There's a murder, and everyone there had motive or opportunity. So I'm sure it's going to be a season-long kind of murder mystery. The other feminist icon we got on CW this week was Batwoman.
Yeah.
Premiered. Ruby Rose as Kate Kane, the Batwoman.
Whatever happens, whatever I have to face, it'll be worth it.
You have an entire city behind you.
Oh my god! Huge fan. Perhaps she needs a little reminder that I'm not playing games. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I didn't have time to check it out. How was it?
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
Oh yeah.
But I just felt like it was a little too Bruce Wayne heavy. Like they referenced him too much. He was, for not being a character on the show, I felt like he was too involved in the plot.
Yeah, if you're going to set something in Gotham City, you kind of have to explain.
But like,
where's Bruce Wayne? Where's Batman?
But to have her like,
but do you? Because I would even make that complaint about something else later. But so everybody knows this stuff. Like, is it necessary?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But to have her in the cave, to have her in his suit was just that part was too much for me. I didn't like that stuff.
Is that based on anything? Like, did that ever happen in the
Not that I
comics or
remember.
I mean, she's related to him, but I don't remember how she became part of the family. But it wasn't.
Yeah, because
what happened.
Right at first they didn't even know who who was behind the Batwoman or whatever. So, anyways,
I thought she was good.
Yeah,
one of her first scenes. If you remember me mentioning Stumptown last week, they put Kobe Smulders in a Ramones t-shirt to show that she's a rebel. Oh, what is Ruby Rose wearing? A Ramones t-shirt. Mm-hmm. So that is the uniform for women who take no guff.
That's right.
So she was expelled from the military. They don't say don't ask, don't tell, but that's basically the idea.
That's
She wouldn't refuse her sexuality, and the woman she's in love with did to further, to stay in the military and keep her career. So that's straight out of the comics. She has kind of her military career ends early, and she's trying to join the Crows.
Yeah, Crow Security.
So it's sort of without Batman, the police in Gotham can't keep up. So there's these like.
It's basically a private army, more or less. Yeah.
So her father runs this group, and her life's goal after the military is to make her dad proud and become one of these crows. And we find out that was never really in the cards for her. We get the villain Alice, kind of an Alice in Wonderland takeoff, which is straight from the comics. She looked pretty good.
Yeah, she was fine. We mentioned back and forth between the two of us that you were surprised they went immediately to her, and I was too. Like, there could have been a lot more build up.
So yeah, by the end of the first episode, you get the twist of how they are.
Intertwined. Yeah. So, but yeah, I could have went with a few, other small time villains to kind of build the character up. Yeah. The feel of the show, and then maybe slowly bring her in, but they just went for it. So,
and we had Luke Fox, who is Lucius Fox's son, was kind of left behind to guard the cave and take care of Wayne Tower, and I liked him. Every CW show has that character, the nerd, the tech guy, the hacker, and they sometimes grate on your nerves. But I liked him, and I liked the way they kind of interplayed. She messed with him and busted his chops a little bit, and I liked that a lot. And a weird bit of casting came out a couple days before the show. Rachel Maddow was cast as Vesper Fairchild, who is kind of a sleazy tabloid journalist. Mm-hmm. And you just hear her voice. You just hear like the radio. Two hot to trot couples out on the town tonight. So it's the actual newswoman Rachel Maddow, which she's a comic book fan. I've known she's referenced that before. And like she wrote the introduction to one of the trade paperbacks for Batwoman, so she's a fan. Mm-hmm. So they kind of let her be involved in this project. Cool. That's someone who likes the character. And of course, I saw things of, well, now I'm not going to watch it. You can't bring politics into it. And she's playing a character. It's not she's not doing a weekly segment about politics, but for some people that's a little too much. But I thought it was a neat little thing to give a real world fan a part.
Yeah. So Batwoman. I'll watch a few more episodes, see where it goes. Speaking of CW, I did watch the first episode of The Flash.
Which season is this?
Season 6.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This was
Never seen an episode.
Title of the episode Into the Void or In the Void?
I'm not sure if that's is the character's name Void.
Yeah, I think so.
The guy who created black holes.
The Sentry?
No.
Got excited.
But the biggest thing, they're still dealing with the aftermath of last season and their daughter Nora disappearing into nothingness,
changing the timeline so the future is not happening now.
And I think the biggest takeaway from this episode was we finally got Queen's Flash theme song from the 1980 movie. They used it finally as he's diving into a black hole to save the universe,
save every one of us.
It was great.
And Cisco even says, "I've been waiting since day one to use this."
So that was fun.
That was a fun action scene. Killer Frost got a new costume.
I noticed that.
Has a big spangly snowflake on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're setting up the Crisis. We're getting a little more. The monitors showing up.
Heard you guys buzzing about Crisis.
I was mentioned to Michael the other day. I really hope they're not setting me up for a huge disappointment this year, because I kind of feel like that with every day there's a new announcement of somebody from some show or movie in the past is going to be featured in this miniseries, and it keeps building and building. They show us more costumes and more costumes.
Well, that's the only way you can get that. That's the problem, is you've seen all this, you know all this. If they had just put this out and you didn't know any of that, it doesn't matter what happened, you would have loved it. You'd have been like, this is so exciting. That's where spoilers screw everything up.
And, so we had the 5th season of Supergirl premiered.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a new hairdo
and pants.
She's got new pants. They're hidden in her glasses.
Yeah, when
her pants.
Yeah,
or her hairdo.
Her whole suit.
All of it.
When she takes the glasses off like that, real quick, like Superman, or
how clever.
The suit just comes over her. So
like Tony Stark.
Yep.
Right. So we've revealed Kara won a Pulitzer due to all her reporting on all the events from last season. So it's kind of setting that up and her, due respect at this job. The Catco is being bought out by a more clickbaity, tabloid sort of company that doesn't want to do hard journalism.
Which is just one way to get old Sexy James off the show, because he's leaving the show.
We knew he was leaving at some point.
Yeah, I just didn't know it would be
it's
so
one of our
soon.
last chances, Cliff. Come on, hook me up.
James Olsen. I read books and work out. James Olsen. It's okay. I can be trusted with the big secret.
I gotta add that to the glossary.
Meet her back at the office.
Yeah. Sexy James Olsen.
James Olsen.
Come on, that's a great.
Yeah. So, episode 1, he quits. See you later, Jimmy.
The villain was Midnight. I'm not familiar with that character.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
And they were pretty vague. Look out, she creates energy voids. I don't know what that means. Someone else said she's fueled by death.
Ooh.
Wow, that's real specific. Thanks. But the drama from last year, Lena Luthor found out Kara was Supergirl and felt her best friend has lied to her.
Yeah.
So they couldn't trust her. So it was all.
But that was pretty good, though. I liked that. That was the best part of the episode for me.
The female friendship thing and the. I thought I was keeping this secret to protect you, but it was really to protect me. And I like their friendship. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Luthor and an L.
Right.
But
that's what I liked about Smallville too in the early years was the Clark and Lex going back and forth. we really want to be
just
friends.
never
but-
ended.
Yeah, well, right. But this was kind of it reminded me of that. It was similar, and I thought acting wise it was pretty good. Like they seemed very sincere and seemed to generally care about each other. The characters did. So
Well, we can judge because we are actors.
that's right.
And we had a shapeshifter cause some trouble throughout the episode. At the end, we realized it is John Jones's brother. Who
Yeah.
he didn't know he had.
Right.
So I assume that's the rest of the season dealing with some Martian stuff. So
I assume.
stay tuned, I guess.
Well, yeah. Yep. So, I watched season 10 started of Bob's Burgers. I had no idea they'd been around for 10 years already. I love Bob's Burgers.
That's impressive.
My family loves Bob's Burgers, but I watched the first couple episodes the other day. The first one this year was called The Ring.
Oh, I watched that one.
But not scary. Where Bob plans to he's bought Linda a present for their anniversary, and after all these years of being married and kids and all that stuff, he finally bought her an engagement ring, which the kids immediately find in the super secret hiding place. And of course Gene puts the ring on, gets it stuck on his finger, and then they go to a water park and they lose the ring, and it was cute. Typical Bob's Burgers. I laughed.
Yeah, I never could get into that show. I've tried watching an episode maybe 3 times, and every time I was like, I make it about 5 minutes and go, it's cute. And I hear people love it, but I also it hasn't like I don't feel like is that much better than the vibe I'm getting, because it's not that I don't hear people talk about it. It's not like all the characters are iconic now or anything.
I didn't realize other people were watching it until I started seeing like merchandise show up. Like there's a ton
you see a little bit out there.
And some people cosplay. It's a good family cosplay.
It is, yeah. And then the second episode that I watched, second episode of the season, was called Boys Just Want to Have Fungus. And Bob can't afford these expensive mushrooms for his burgers, so him and Gene decide that they're going to go out into the woods to hunt said mushrooms, and then they get caught up into this like cutthroat world of mushroom foraging. It's pretty good.
So it's also a show about poor people. So that's right in our
yeah, exactly. That's why Carly loves it. Speaking of poor people. And another animated show, there's a new one called Bless the Harts on Fox.
I checked out the first one of those too.
Yeah, I was really hoping it was going to be good, but it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
I watched the first 2 to give it, a fair shakeout. This is a new series, like we said, on Fox with Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig, which I thought, hey, this sounds really good.
Oh.
Just about a Southern family that's always broke, poor people again. First episode's called Hug and Bug, where they don't have any money to pay their water bill, and the mom discovers the grandmother has a secret storage bin full of like Beanie Baby type things from the 90s that of course they believe are worth a fortune but aren't worth anything.
That's my favorite bit, was all the references, like the 90s references they had.
Yeah, and they were
Macarena,
they were unrelated.
Yeah.
And then the second episode is Can't Get There From Here, where Jenny, who's the mom character, takes a second job at a stripper bar to help fund her daughter Violet's art school. Like I said, Bob's Burgers was way better. But I checked it out. I don't know how many more episodes this will last. And I think that's all I have for TV.
Well, I'll throw in a Simpsons thing real quick if we're talking Fox comedy. Yeah. It just premiered season 31.
Jeez.
I wanted to bring it up just because of one line. It had John Mulaney as the guest star, who Homer and Bart someone films them fighting, Homer strangling him and Bart hits him with something. And it goes viral, much like we did. So John Mulaney comes in as a guy who can help them monetize their viral video. So they start staging all these videos and trying to make money off of YouTube. And then something happens. The world discovers these fights are fake. And comic book guy, it pulls back from the computer, and you see comic book guy watching this, and he says, "I haven't been this angry since I saw every Star Wars since the second one."
One other thing on TV. You guys all caught up on Gemstones?
Yep.
Was this the next to last episode just aired?
I think there's like 9. It's in like an odd number.
Yeah.
I think we've seen episode 8 so far.
Yeah, so what do we think? Are we still on board?
Yeah, it was great. I thought it was one of the best.
I liked it.
It got dark and got serious.
Yeah.
Some serious stuff happened, but it's like it does mix a little drama in there. There's
definitely.
There's actual like family drama and high stakes.
Yeah, I had a couple notes on it. Judy tries to win back BJ after he dumped her, and so she goes to his place of work, the pharmacy, or the not pharmacy, the optometrist that he is, and gets into a fight with a co-worker of his, and then I love when she pushes over the rack of stuff.
It has the best quote of the series in this. I can't say it, but if anyone tells me happy birthday tomorrow, I'm sending them an image from that show. So tell me happy birthday at your own risk. But it was great. Walton Goggins is the best, and I can't believe they were able to keep him off the show for a couple episodes. It just once they brought him in. Takes it over the top. Him and Danny McBride are just so good. So good.
Kelvin has a crisis of faith. This is all the aftermath of getting robbed on Easter.
He's so mean to Keith.
He is. I felt bad for Keith. And
good.
Of course, Baby Billy gets that money.
Uncle Baby Billy.
Aunt Tiffany got a gun. And then Jesse ends up finally telling the truth to the group about what really happened in the ATL. So
it was good.
And are we still on the Walking Dead train?
What happened?
I'm the conductor.
Yeah. So what did they start the season or something?
Yeah.
There is one rule between our people. One law. We are always watching.
See, the boogeyman just stuck his gnarly skin-covered mask out from behind that closet door. And people are putting their shitting pants back on.
Fear is dangerous. It can drive us apart again.
Watch your back, kid.
You and I ain't never been in a room before. Not toe to toe. And there ain't nobody to save you right now.
If you don't protect what belongs to you, then sooner or later, it belongs to someone else.
Okay. What happened? How did that last year end?
Good thing you should ask, because it was still in my notes.
Okay.
I was kind of keeping you guys up to date, and we never talked about the finale.
Oh, yeah.
So the finale of episode 9, it's not bad, guys.
Season 9.
Season 9. I'm not telling you if you've jumped ship on this. I'm not telling you to go back and watch it, but it's not bad. They fixed some of the things that are wrong with it.
Okay.
It jumped forward a couple months in time into the dead of winter.
At the dump.
So things dump is long gone. No more dump.
Yeah, that's good.
No more dumpster people.
No. So they have to shelter in the sanctuary, Negan's old home.
Yeah.
There's no electricity, there's no heat, so like they let Negan out of prison, and they have to get to this territory, which the Whisperers, where last we left off, they had put heads on spikes and said, "Do not cross this line. It's our territory. You stay over there. We'll stay over here." So to get to the safe place, they've got to cross into Whisperer territory. And they're like, how would they even be out here watching us? How are they going to know we've been in this territory? We just have to chance it. So, we got this big winter storm. Negan ends up saving Judith's life, who Judith was the daughter who has aged forward. Lydia, the daughter of the head whisperer, tries to kill herself, and Carol talks her out of it. So
is Alpha the head whisperer?
Yes, Alpha. Right. So Carol, Lydia talks about she's so weak, she can't survive this. It's her fault. If Alpha does something to the community, it'll be her fault. And Carol, back in the old days, wouldn't hesitate to kill a child.
Yeah.
But she's talks.
Look at the flowers
and says, you're not weak. We're all in this together. Kumbaya, let's go. And the season ends. There's a voice on the radio, so someone's trying to communicate through the radio. So that was the end of season 9. Season 10 starts. First shot is a Russian satellite flying through space.
Right.
So immediately you're like, what is this? We got aliens? We got astronauts? What is happening?
Reminds me of Last Man on Earth.
Right. So it starts, and then it just jumps to something else. So that's probably going to be important. So again, we've jumped forward a little bit in time, and they're doing, again, the problem with this show, there are 3 different communities, and it keeps jumping back and forth between Oceanside and Alexandria and the other, and I don't know who's living where. Yeah. I don't know where they are at any given moment. I don't know who is where or why they're going there. So it's very hard to keep track of the people. And especially that I don't really cram for this or care. That, it kicks right back out of they're having these heartfelt conversations. We owe it to Eric. It's like, who is Eric?
Right.
I have no
What
clue.
did he do?
I have no idea. We have to keep fighting. Steve would want us to keep fighting. It's like, I don't know what that means. Well, if I knew
it was Steve.
Right? So that's still my criticism, and part of it's my fault for not paying close enough attention, and part of it is the show for not really developing these characters beyond the
Well, how am I supposed to care if you don't care enough to take proper notes?
Right. So I should really take more thorough notes. You're right. I owe that. But it started out they're doing for Steve. They're doing military training, and they've built these giant Spartan shields. They made a phalanx,
right?
And they're practicing archers, and they're getting good because that was always the criticism of the show. Is these people survive long enough, they all know how not to get killed by zombies. Well, yeah, everyone still alive is pretty good at this. So there's people with spears, people with arrows, people with shields, and they're working on military formations. And the idea is they've lived all these months in fear of the Whisperers because they know, well, that was the idea. And at one point, it's the Whisperers have an atomic bomb. We don't. I'm like, what does that mean? I forgot the last episode. Alpha showed them they have a giant horde of walkers that they can steer where they want to go. So it's if you come into our territory, we're going to walk these right through your front door. Millions and millions of zombies.
All right.
So that took me about a half hour into this to remember that very important fact.
Yep.
So these people have been training and getting ready and just stressing about the Whisperers coming back. So they keep scouting, looking for signs. Carol's been out on a boat being a pirate and fishing and stuff. So it was basically just setting things up and just showing what it's like having to live in fear that any moment any of these walkers could also be a Whisperer. And the tension was a little better, the acting was a little better. So I'm not leaving the show anytime soon, so I'll be here for you guys.
All right, good. Saves me the trouble.
The Russian satellite crashed. It started a forest fire. So
it's gonna be a problem.
And they're if the fire starts, we can't stop it. So they had to.
Okay, so there isn't aliens or Russians or anything. It's just
it crashed in Whisperer territory.
Yeah.
And we got to go into Whisperer territory to stop this forest fire. And of course, fires attract zombies. Zombies walk through fire. Zombies catch fire and still try to bite you. So it was a fun scene. They're trying to fight a fire and fight fire zombies.
Say that.
Yeah.
Multiple times. That was pretty good. All right. What's next?
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
What?
Don't cross the streams.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are.
Cross the streams.
Okay, a little streaming. I have been indulging on season 3 of Big Mouth on Netflix. Didn't watch a lot of season 2, but got bored the other day and it popped up, so I thought I'd check it out. Raunchy as ever, season 3.
This is the one about like young kids
going
puberty.
Through, yeah. They have hormone monsters. It's the Nick Kroll.
Right.
Yeah, I'm normally not a very big fan of his, but it's funny. It's so dirty. Season 3 though, good stories so far from what I've watched. They've had storylines about the only gay kid in school and dealing with him dealing with that. Jesse comes to terms with his bisexuality, and of course the ghost of Duke Ellington, who lives in the attic.
Yep,
played by Jordan Peele.
I did watch a few episodes of the first season.
Yeah, he's got a real. He tells a story for an episode about when he was very young, like 13ish, and the message of the whole thing is like finding your passion in life. So there's some good stuff in there if you can get past the, just all the raunchiness. But it's pretty good. So,
and I saw they're doing a spinoff that's going to focus on the monsters themselves.
Yeah, it's already.
What?
I don't. Yeah,
just when something gets popular, they've got to cash in as
it's totally diluted.
Yeah,
pretty much. So, I had that, and then catching everybody up. Spoilers for Titans. A couple episodes since we last recorded. Episode 5 was called Deathstroke. Quick notes on it. Dick Grayson. He's not Robin anymore, of course, in season 2. But he's gathered the old Titans and the new Titans together to try and fight off Dr. Light. He's not being a great leader. Jason Todd, the new Robin, ends up getting ticked off, tries to go after Dr. Light himself, and of course he gets captured while doing it, just trying to spy on him. So Dick decides his big plan is to take on Deathstroke himself. So he pretty much gets his butt kicked. Starfire shows up at the last minute to basically save him. Jason's still tied up, hanging off on like a window cleaner, one of those, like, what do you call those like skiffs or whatever.
Yeah.
Jason falls off the skyscraper. That's the big ending to the episode.
Now here's where you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there was an article put out about DC asking, should Jason Todd, once again, do you want him to live or die? And I was like, no,
live
wait.
Or die.
That was just this week, and this episode came out 2 weeks ago. I was like, now, wait a minute. If that was the case, they would already ask this like way in advance.
Maybe they have multiple.
Well, I wondered that too,
filmed.
but then I thought, well, how in the world can you film like 5 or however many episodes more and have like all these multiple, because you're not going to ever use them? Why would you pay for that production? So I'm not
no Bandersnatch,
right? So, episode 6.
Do you think that everybody's familiar with this?
Yeah, so back in the 80s, was it late 80s?
What
80, yeah, like maybe 88?
Yeah, somewhere in there. DC Comics had a 1-900 number you could call to vote if you wanted Jason Todd, the new Robin, to be killed off or to, live it on in the comics.
Yeah, in the middle of the Death in the Family storyline.
Yeah.
Joker beat him with a crowbar and then blew up the building he was in.
Yeah.
And at the end of the issue, it's like, hey, fans, what do you think? Is he alive or dead?
And ended up being they killed him off.
By a pretty close vote. It was only a couple hundred votes between them. It was a 1-900 number. You had to pay money. You had to pay money to kill this poor child.
Yeah.
So, anyways, DC, I read that just today or yesterday about asking that again. I thought, well, that's really weird because all that production stuff I mentioned. So I watched episode 6 today. It just premiered today, and it was called Connor. Of course, Connor Kent, Superboy, which we got a glimpse of in the finale just kind of as an extra scene in the finale of season 1 of him awakening, more or less. And then we saw Crypto in there. This is my favorite episode this year so far. I'm not a big Superman guy or Superboy guy, but this was really good. I really highly enjoyed this episode. It's just the Connor Kent origin story for this series. I made a note. Michael would really love his eyes. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to ask him as soon as I talk to him. And by, I mean, dink dink eyes.
Wow. That's a lot of
so he wakes up in Cadmus, busts out, frees Crypto.
Should I add that to the glossary?
You should.
Dink dink?
No.
Michael.
The eyes. Michael?
Michael's
we refer to this strange Michael character. People may not know who we're even talking about. I feel like he needs a glossary entry.
Yeah. He's an adverb.
So anyways, Connor Kent breaks out, gets loose, and they mention that he has the personality of a 2-year-old. Okay, which the actor playing him, his name is, I hadn't heard of or seen him in anything before. Hold on, I got it here. Maybe I didn't write it down. But the actor really portrayed this very well. They have to do it pretty quick because he's just getting an episode here. They got to cover a lot of ground. But Joshua Orpin is the actor's name. So he's walking around like a full-grown adult, but like I said, he's like a toddler in upstairs more or less. I like it because it's like a boy and his dog is basically the story. He's wandering around the city. There's some cute moments where he tries to save a lady, and then
is he wearing the S t-shirt the whole time?
Yeah, no, not the whole time, but it tells you how he gets it.
Okay.
So it gives us that story. And then the big thing is there's a fun scene where he has all his powers except for like flight. Okay, so he can more or less do everything Superman does. And then he ends up in Smallville because he has memories, some from Lex, some from Superman. So he ends up in Smallville in Kansas, and then we see a farmhouse, and immediately think, oh, he's going to the Kents. But he doesn't. He ends up on the Luthor's farm. So I really liked how they went back to the Luthor's had a farm down the road from the Kents in Smallville.
Yeah.
And Lex's dad is there. And he kind of gets to know him. And you get some background on Lex. You see pictures in the background, a little boy, bald head, that type of thing. He's a scientist. Pretty much covered all the bases for me. He ends up back, though, at the very end. Spoilers, like I said, sorry. Ends up back in the city, and as Jason is falling down the building, we see Connor Kent walk up, and he sees him falling, so of course he's got to save him.
Unless we call, we can stop that, right?
Right, it's already happened. So I'm like, now what's going to happen to Jason now? So the little minx.
You little minx.
That's all I've got for streaming.
I watched a show called. Did you guys ever see the movie Chef with Jon Favreau?
No, I've contemplated watching it several times.
It's not like any deep movie or anything. It's just it's not unpopular. People like to watch cooking shows, or people just making food. I love to watch people make food. It makes me hungry. I'm always mad I don't have any food.
Well, doesn't he have a show like that's kind of like a spin-off of the movie?
Yes, that's what I'm going to tell you about.
Okay.
There was a movie Chef a few years ago. It's on Netflix, where he has a food truck and drives around and tries to cultivate it and into a business and everything. Well, anyway, now he's just he calls himself a food enthusiast, but he's actually a pretty good chef himself. He's learned from having to do the movie, and he just enjoys that. Well, he's with I think the guy's name is Roy Cho or Choi. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but he's big food truck chef, and he
kind of showed him.
Yeah, he taught him how to do it for the movie, and they, just do a bunch of episodes. The first season dropped in June, and I had never watched it, and now the second season dropped a few weeks ago in September, and it's good if you like those kind of things. They're entertaining. Jon Favreau's very likable, both of them. And listen to him talk about things, and he doesn't act. He's no expert, so he's learning. So you feel like you're kind of learning along with him things, but he still has some skills, and they have a guest each time. Kind of. I'm sure you heard a couple months ago, like the first episode had Gwyneth Paltrow, and that's when she was like she doesn't remember being in Spider-Man.
You were in Spider-Man?
No.
Yeah.
I was in Avengers.
No, you were in Spider-Man also.
And he's like, it got him explaining to her. He's like, you remember the part this happened? Oh yeah. Anyway, it's good. I like it. I sent my it was so funny last week. I'm watching one of the episodes, I can see they're getting ready to cook some Mexican food, and I'm like already getting hungry thinking about it, because all these shows just make me hungry watching them eat all this food.
Yeah.
And, my son's sitting here, I was like, hey, if you run, I'll pay. If you go pick something up. He's like, oh, okay. So I was like, go get some Tampicos. And then I started this episode. He's like, are you going to watch a show of them making Mexican and I'm bringing you Mexican? I was like, yes. He's like, you are good. I was like, it was so satisfying to get all hungry for it. And he brought me food.
And you timed like the running time
it was perfect.
to the delivery
it was perfect.
time.
I was like, yeah, okay. I'm going to call right now. Anyway, if you like any kind of cooking show like that, this is very good. It's kind of food truck, cuisine, but done at a very high level with, it's got a lot of stars and celebrity chefs and things doing.
My daughter loves cooking shows, especially the competition ones that aren't like professional people. Yeah. She loves Master Chef Kids. That's like her jam right there. She gets all excited about it. So
I enjoyed it. Let me say one more thing about streaming. I'm sorry.
Okay, no.
One other streaming thing. I want to make a correction, because I did kind of go on, I believe, about Cobra Kai season 2 being on YouTube, and I thought it was all on there because I started watching it, and they just kept coming every time I finished one. Well, there is. You kind of said maybe they're one a week. There is. I just happened to catch it a few weeks late, so I've watched the first 5 episodes of season 2, and I think there's another one out right now. So it's still coming. I haven't watched it all. It's not all available, but it will be.
Good, because you challenged me, and I had not lived up to the challenge of watching it.
Right.
I want to rewatch the first season. I liked it so much, I wanted to rewatch it. So
I am really enjoying the second season, and Jesse has already privately messaged us saying, "Oh, wait to get to the end." So I'm excited to get to the end if they would just release it all.
Yeah.
But at least it's free, so definitely check it out.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you for liking our Facebook page. If you've got any suggestions or comments, let us know.
If there's something we should be watching, let us know. Yeah. We'll talk about it. You'll get that gratification.
There's a lot of new shows have premiered, both on
all.
TV and on streaming. So what have you been watching? Is there something you would like to hear us review or talk about or give it? We will try it. We'll try just about anything. Oh, yeah. One of us will.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks very much. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com.
I can't remember. Did you say you watched any of Cobra Kai?
I watched.
You're a big 1984 guy.
Yeah, I really liked it. I watched. I don't remember how many episodes of season 1. And then I don't know what happened after that. I think maybe it went to pay or something, so I never went back to it, but yeah.
Are we going to read what Justin put on the Patron page? Well, we should mention what we've put on the Patron page in the last couple of weeks.
I wouldn't put what people are saying on the Patron page because it's private.
Yeah. They get to pay $1 to get that.
Yeah, but we need to say what's been going on. Like, we upload. Yeah, there's a What did we just put on?
Well, we just did you did put up the references.
The references, and what was the audio thing we did?
I don't remember. This week?
Patron-only content.
We did...
the anecdote. Was that new from...
I don't remember if that went up this week. That must have went up this week. Or was it last week?
We haven't mentioned it.
Yeah.
Really, so.